Good morning and welcome to Nigeria Now, showing on your digital first Pan-African news network, 2S Television. We're reaching you from Nigeria's federal capital city, Abuja. My name is Merciful Ajinamo. Joining us to analyze some stories this morning is Adebayo Fajimi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we begin from Blueprint newspaper. The banner headline there is El-Rufai on Kauru, Zangon Kataf crisis. We lost 387 lives in 2 years to needless bloodshed. We have three riders underneath the story. The first says Nigeria fast returning to barbarism, and that's coming from ACF. Forum to meet Afenifere, Ohaneze, others. And then Kaduna 6 recourse to law peace campaign. And we can get out on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. What do you make of this update on the Blueprint this morning?
It is not a very good one, very sad, and it is a continuation of the reality of the Nigerian state, and how much we still need to put in terms of effort to ensure that we stop losing, our people unnecessarily. So because of the figure that the Kaduna state government, gives out, are we sure that that is even the accurate? And I'm not very sure. I'm very sure that this is not the exact accurate.
You think it's more than that?
Yes, it's more than this. So I think rather than just seeing or watching our people just die anyhow, so we need to put in more effort in terms of security architecture and ensure that we are not losing our people just anyhow.
Okay, still on the Blueprint newspaper from the very top. Of course, talking about 2023 election, APC denies zoning presidential ticket to South. The writer says Okorocha joins race. Saraki 6 PDP ticket. Of course, that can be found on page 6. And then fuel subsidy reps raise 2 panels to look into unresolved issues. We can get it on page 15. President says decision to shelve fuel subsidy removal not political. We can get that story on page 22. And then underneath the picture of the day, Police Trust Fund, court stops federal government's deductions from federation account, orders refund to RVSG. That can be found on page 9. And INEC 6 asks court to dismiss suit against Osun APC World Congress. That can be found on page 9 as well. Police lose inspector, killed 2 bandits in Ogun gun duel. That's on page 15. Oyetola to residents, sustain current Ife Modakeke peace harmony. That's coming on page 5 of the Blueprint. And gas, diesel, monetary funding of deficit aiding inflation. That's of course that's a report on FBN Quest. We can get that on page 22 of the Blueprint newspaper. We move over to the Nigerian News Direct. The banner headline there is 1.2 trillion naira MDA's unremitted revenue in banks, and that's coming from the reps. Uncovers 45.85 million bank accounts without BVN. And from the very top there, Ogun to construct new set of roads, approves 42.7 kilometers network across state. EFCC, Nigerian Air Force Institute of Technology, signed training MOU and strategic engagement tour, Ikiri Apomu, Bongan, Agog for Oyetola. Of course, just talking about subsidy removal reversal, long queues resurface in Abuja as NNPC assures of sufficient fuel. And Senate summons NLNG over 73 communities land acquisition compensation controversy. We have a couple of stories on this Nigerian News Direct. Of course, talking about fuel subsidy, Ogun State, EFCC, and the reps talking about 1.2 trillion naira MDA's unremitted revenue in banks up. Which of the story grabs your attention the most?
So I think the subsidy removal reversal grabs my attention, and I think for some time now I've been seeing these people indulging in black markets anytime I'm going back home from office. And I think in fact a driver even narrated an experience to me yesterday, what he experienced when he wanted to buy fuel last night. I mean that was
2 nights ago.
Yes, two days ago. It was very bad because people are already expecting that this thing will rise.
So they can hike the prices of fuel.
Yes, and people have been anticipating for people have been envisaging that. So, but unfortunately, the federal government refuses to approve the fuel subsidy. Yes. So I think our people should also be should also show concern. Those people who engage in this business should show a kind of concern to people. So they should not allow people to go through unnecessary stress because they want to just make profits just anyhow. Of course, there is a profit they are making on this business already, but at least you must consider the customers also, because even as at this morning, on my way to work, I still saw some of these people. Do you understand? Because they just want to make money anyhow. So I think this needs to stop, and people should not be allowed to be going through this harrowing experience.
Okay, of course, that's on subsidy removal reversal, and then we have that on page 21 of the Nigerian News Direct paper. On Daily Independent, of course, still talking about subsidy, federal government to increase borrowing to fund 3 trillion naira 18-month subsidy bill. Of course, that can be found on the Daily Independent newspaper. We have two writers underneath the story. The first, to ask National Assembly for amendment to fiscal framework 2022 budget and amend PIA to accommodate 18-month subsidy from 6 months. Of course, that's talking about the fuel subsidy, and we can get that on the Daily Independent newspaper. From the very top, 2022, BC Kolawole wins Ekiti PDP Guber primary. We have 183,000 APC members to elect Guber candidate today, and we can get that on page 29 of the Daily Independent newspaper. What do you make of the Ekiti State governorship election and all the activities that has happened? I do know that yesterday there were some things happened, and the internet went agog. What's your take on what's been happening?
Yeah, it's all about politics, and we are in a political season. So yesterday, Mr. Kolawole, the candidate of the former governor El-Rufai, emerged as a flag bearer of the party regarding the forthcoming election in the state. And also, we also saw a senator, Olujimi, who also withdrew his interest in the race. In fact, the vote she had was, I think, about 1 vote, as big as she is in the party.
And people think it's just hers vote.
So it's very interesting, but I just think what matters is, the best in this case should rule the rest. It doesn't matter what political party you are coming from. Wherever you are coming from, whether APC, whether PDP, whether AD, whatever party, we should ensure that the best emerges and the best rule the rest.
Okay, the best rules the rest. Still on the Daily Independent newspaper, underneath the picture of the day there, we see Constitution Review. Reps seek creation of 111 additional National Assembly seats for women. We have a couple of writers. The first, recommends 6 more in state assemblies, reject state police despite rising insecurity, and then deny immunity for Senate President, Reps Speaker, others. We can get all of that on the Daily Independent newspaper. And then NNPC assures on sufficient fuel supply as scarcity hits Abuja. Of course, we've spoken about that. That can be found on page 7. And talking on health, Nigeria records 26 Lassa fever deaths, 115 cases this year. And that can be found on page 6 of the Daily Independent. Sanwo-Olu flags off road project to link Ojota-Opebi link bridges. That can be found on page 6. And then Buni says APC has not zoned presidential ticket others. And then 2023 elections will push away foreign portfolio investors. All of that can be found on the Daily Independent newspaper. On the Business Day newspaper, the banner headline there is hospitals struggle to retain staff amid migration tsunami. We can get all of that on the front page. That continues on page 30 of the Business Day newspaper. And then on the Nation newspaper, of course, talking about fuel subsidy, government to fund petrol subsidy with 3 trillion naira in 1 year. And that is on the front page of the Nation newspaper. From very top, Rivers fault ex-commissioners defense on dumped plane. We can get out on the front page as well. Sanwo-Olu will deliver Opebi Ojota Bridge next year. And then talking about the 2023 election, Saraki Okorocha to seek presidential ticket. All of these stories can be found across the newspapers read out to you this morning. And also don't forget to stay updated on our website, www.tostvnetwork.com. That's our website that you can grab information in Nigeria. And of course, things happening across Africa. Our social media platforms are right there for you to stay engaged. That is at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Adebayo Fajimi, for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Until I come your way again tomorrow, my name is Merciful Ajilmo. Stay safe.